Okay, now we're on part two of this lecture where we're going to talk a little bit more about a finished floor plan and something called transitions in your flooring. So let's get to it, shall we? And let me get out of this stuff. What happened to my power? There we are, my PowerPoint. I am gotta walk out of there. There we are. Where am I? I got it all confused. So let me try to refine this. I don't know where it's going. There I am. Let me just share it. Here we go. Okay. Um, right now we're going to talk a little bit about, oops, I kind of lost a little bit. There we go. We ended on linoleum. Now we're going to talk about creating a floor finish plan. What do you do when you create this new type of drawing? Well, the first thing you need to do is select the flooring. Okay. Um, and define the change of different floorings. So you select your flooring and you define where the change of flooring is going to be from one room to the other. Things you need to do is consider the use of the space. Consider any codes that might apply. I have to do that a lot in restaurants and medical to make sure that the flooring doesn't slip. Consider the design of the space and consider transitions between flooring. Now note that you can't have a transition more than 1/4 of an inch height change between flooring. So when you go from one floor to the next, let's say you go from the living room into the dining room. Let's say the living room has carpet and the dining room has tile. You can't have more than 1/4 of an inch difference, else it's a tripping hazard. So this is a code issue. Now, definitely in public spaces, they enforce it. You might have that in your own house, but we're going to talk about how do we create that transition from one floor to the next. We have to think about that. It's like a little bridge that gaps the two floors. So it's something that's very important. So first thing you do is that we are going to, once again, draft the floor shell. Okay, you're going to draft that floor shell. You are going to add your transitions on the shell. That means you're going to put a line wherever there is a flooring change. And I'll do that on the demo just to show you. You're going to lay out any design or pattern on the floor area. Maybe you want little square or checker or a border. You're going to show the different types of flooring with a special hatch. You'll create a flooring legend with references or what we call callouts. Remember, it's going to refer to what type of floor. It's called reference. You'll show any flooring transition details. Add the material callouts and notes on the flooring plan. So this, in a nutshell, is what we call a finished floor plan. I will do the demo and walk us through all this, but I'm going to show you samples right now so you can see what we're talking about. So in a finished floor plan, once again, here's a good example. First of all, they have shown the different types of flooring. This is a project I did. It's called In Motion in Huntington Beach. It's an occupational therapy office. When you walk into the space, we have wood planking right here. I had to put the direction of the wood planking. It flows into the hallway and into the restrooms and into the break room. Here, though, we have a curb. There would be a transition strip. It's showing now I'm changing to a different kind of floor. Here we have carpet tiles, and I have inset carpets of different colors, which can be seen on my floor legend. As we continue through the space, the carpet goes throughout this whole space, but in the storage room, we're using a vinyl composite tile, very inexpensive little 12 by 12 sheets of vinyl. So here is a perfect example of a finished floor plan. You see the different hatches. This represents the wood tile. Here you see the square represents the carpet 1, carpet 2, and carpet 3. And here is CV for compact vinyl tile, composite vinyl tile. And that's that little hatch. Here is another example. This is done from the winery in La Jolla. If you ever go to visit that restaurant, this was very intricate finished floor plan. Once again, we have our floor finish legend. Each is a little symbol or of the hatch that represents the flooring. Next is the call out, whether it's F1, F2, F3, or if you want to use the word T for tile or C for carpet. And then we put the specification, a quick description. And as you walk in this space, this is all wood tile with little wood tile intricate insets, all made out of tile, but very intricate. As you enter in, you can see this wood tile with a border. And then as you flow into the space, a very interesting thing happens. There are booths here, and we go into carpet squares. Then there's a transition into another room of tile and back into carpet squares. As you go into the hallway, you'll see more wood tile. And as you get back into this space, there is a different flooring for the restrooms. So as you can see, finished floor plans are extremely intricate. I put a lot of effort into, especially my larger projects, medical facilities. We have floor transitions, different colors, borders. You could create amazing different designs. But note, they're very expensive to install. So you can create brick patterns and herringbone patterns, chevron, and it is all a beautiful look and adds to the aesthetic, but it does add to the cost. But all of this is laid out in this finished flooring plan. Now we want to talk about those transitions. When you came here, you saw this transition right here. See that? That would require what's called a transition strip. And here is an example of a strip. If you have a carpet, let's say on one side, and you have a different floor on the other. So here is one, this is a tile, I'm sorry, and this is carpet over here. See the little loops? You need something to bridge the gap. And that's what we call transition detail. Right here, where carpet meets tile, we have this transition strip. You will be providing me a detail very similar to this on your drawing. And note all the different little information they add to this detail. Here is another wood, when wood meets wood detail. Now in this situation, they used a wood tile, and that is the thickness, 12/16 of an inch. But here we have a smaller piece of flooring, which is about 5/8 of an inch. So they needed to purchase this little piece of transition strip to bridge the gap between this flooring and that flooring. So there is a nice ease and no one will trip. The subfloor is what the tile is set on. Normally it is concrete or some type of, or it could be wood if it's a floating floor on the second floor. That's the subfloor, whatever you're laying on the product on. Now here is different examples. See, in this situation, there is a thicker tile and a skinnier tile. Here they had to create almost like a ramp type of transition. So when you have that gap, you have to bridge it. So there are different types of these transition moldings. Some look like a mushroom cap, some look like kind of like a little ramp, and they're all unique. So it's important for you to know what is the thickness of my flooring and what is that thickness flooring connecting to another flooring. And now we have to add that transition strip. This is something as a designer you need to specify, and also you might end up having to purchase it, but don't forget it in your pricing with your client. Those transition strips could be very expensive and end up breaking the budget. So you want to make sure you're always adding those transition strips. So here are different types. This one is just more your typical transition strip. It looks like a little mushroom or a little boomerang. Here is more of a ramp style. So here they're meeting one thickness of a flooring and almost to a very little thickness of a flooring. Almost no flooring at all. Here's one that just goes from the flooring itself to another flooring. Here's one thickness to another thickness. So each one of these are a little different. So you make sure that you get the right transition strip for the right application. Here is in my house that I'm doing right now. It's a little got some stuff, but here we went from tile to vinyl wood flooring, and I had to purchase this piece of transition strip, which is very similar to this, and it kind of went up a little because this was thicker than this. So this made it for a nice, easy, smooth transition from the hallway into the restroom. So here are even a different type. We call these ramp reducers. It's a different type of transition strip, something very thick here, and it goes into a lower area. You need a transition strip that kind of ramps and kind of gently eases into the flooring so that you don't create too large of a step up and no one can trip on this. So this is called a ramp reducer, and these are important too. These T-moldings or transition details, they basically fit right in between the two different types of flooring. Here they have wood flooring and ceramic tile. They have put the T-molding right in between and created this beautiful detail. And this is what I will be looking for in your drawing. So with that being said, that's kind of a short run of it, but this is the part 2. So now you know you have different types of flooring. Look at your considerations. I need you to pick 3 floorings for your project. 3. You are going to need carpet. I'm making you put carpet. Some of you might not want to, but carpet in at least one of the bedrooms. And then you'll use a tile of some type. And then the third is your choice. It could be wood, it could be vinyl, it could be laminate. But you will be doing a transition detail between the bedroom with the carpet and the hallway. So if that's wood versus carpet, so we're going to create a detail. That's the reason. So you need to pick 3 floorings: carpet and 2 other hard floorings. And you could do 2 different carpets and a different hard flooring, but you definitely need something waterproof for the kitchen and the bathrooms. So whatever you choose wisely. Make sure it meets a good budget, meets the family's needs, and it meets your aesthetic. Okay, so next I will be seeing you at the demo of the finished floor plan.